Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna talk about my reflective analysis of Primo Levi's Survival on Auschwitz. And this book I feel is like telling us like the Levi's experience in Auschwitz. And this author, Primo Levi, lives the Holocaust and like he tried to impact with his book like the different stuff that he goes through. Some of the important taxes, like he tried to articulate like the different experiences that he have here, like with clarity and precisions, but at the same time, these heartbroken and inspiring phrases and like characters and different metaphorics that he used during the book and through his history. So I think it gained like a deeper understanding of the tragedy, and like the humanity and the strength requirement to preserve this cruelty that they leave like for the future generations. It was something that he was looking for when he tried to explain like all the little details on his book. And all these little passages that he used and the different characters and even like the different philosophical, psychological, and like metaphorically stuff that he used during the book, like trying to compare this the human behavior and how this works during the camp, like just trying to emphasize on like the different behavior of the people and how humans act to this Holocaust and how he lives this experience just to making you going farther and like going and like embedding you on this history and like trying to not just like knowing on the historical context what happened, further than that to trying to know like what it was the book trying to tell you. It was like more like how the people live this Holocaust and how this affects them, not just on the way like on the superficial or the physical way, or like even for the historical way. It's just more like even on the psychological, on the deepest, on the spiritual way to them, and how to try to understand them and how to like being empathetic with them for like knowing and like creating even like a consciousness about this topic and like even like how this can help for future generations for this kind of Holocaust not happening again on the history of the world. So we are going to start with some quotes that really impacts me from the whole book, which I feel that they were really important. And some of them are, for example, this one that I found it on the one of the first chapters here, specifically on the bottom, that it says, but men are rarely logical when their own fate is at stake. On every occasion, they prefer to extreme positions. According to our character, some of us are immediately convinced that all is lost, that one cannot live here, that the end is near and sure. Others are convinced that however hard the present life may be, salvation is probable and not far off, and if we have faith and strength, we will see our houses and our dear once again. I feel this species they prefer to put like this. The make reflects on the power of hope and despair in shaping human behavior. It's like even made me wonder different questions like how I will supposed to respond to such a tragic situation, or how I will even have like hope in this situation that they live. This observation that Levi made on this quote is like about the strengths of human reaction in the face of suffering, that it makes me understand that the psychological toll of the Holocaust, it was something really important on it. And it was also reminding me that the importance of hope, even like on the darkest times, that is really important. And how like even the characters during all this book like tries to keep that, like, which is a really important phrase on all the book, and you are gonna see it like even on the next quotes, how they try to get this hope even though for the hard times that there was going through. And I feel like this specifically is making like this introductory part of the whole book of how the characters are gonna feel during the whole Holocaust, and how like most of them are gonna even lose their humanity and like the hope that they have, but some of them are gonna try to keep that, and like how this even affects to them on different psychological and mentally ways that they process this living this moment and this part of their life on a different ways, and like how they confront these situations on this life on their lives. Another one which was really important for me, I feel it was the this passage that we can found it on the chapter number 12 and the even of the summer, that it's quote like their humanity is buried on themselves had buried on the evil. But something that I really want to remark here on this whole thing is more about like how he made emphasis on the couples and Germans, and like how here especially he mentioned that Lorenzo was a man, that his humanity was pure and uncontaminated, and he was outside of this world of negation. And he even thanks to Lorenzo that managed not to forget that I myself was a man. And I feel like that this quote is something that we even talk on during the class, and it was really important for me because like that makes me feel like this feeling that have the whole book, like how like he even was looking, how the people during the coming was looking like this part of themselves that there was not losing them. So this man for them, for example, here that he mentioned that he's pure, that is uncontaminated. He mentioned like a man that is without the camp. He mentioned a person that is living their lives like a normal. They are not like losing their humanity. They are not losing their dignity. They are not losing anything by Germans, by like the politicals and by the criminals and like by different stuffs that they can be on the life, and they can even disorder their lives. So I feel this quote is really important, especially on the end, like sentences that is makes you understand like how the people on the camp it was losing themselves and the pureness and like the uncontaminated, and there was contaminated in their minds, just like being slaves and like just being people that it was doing like just like the things like automatically, and there was no thinking on what there was doing, and there was just like doing it because there was gonna survive at some point. So it was just even this instinct of surviving for them, and they even like lose the this even like hope on themselves that we was talking before on the last quote. The next one, it's a little bit more shorter, but we can find it on the chapter number 3 on initiation, that it says that we must polish our shoes not because the regulation is stated, but for dignity and property. We must walk erect without drawing our feet, not in homage to Prussian discipline, but to remain alive, not to not being today. I feel like this is really important too, especially because it's mentioned the dignity and the property. I feel this book is trying to make us understand a little bit more how the dignity and how the different feelings of the humans beings can change during the stressful situations and like going through the Holocaust, and how like even these little facts of like putting numbers to them instead of names, like that it mentioned it on the book, of how like doing little absurdities that we talk like during the classes too, like it's making like just taking a shower, and he put like different characters that they make like little things that try to make and give like this dignity that they have, or like this human part that they have, just like to trying to confront all these crises that they was going through, and like trying to no lose themselves for this of them. So like the dignity and the property of a person, I feel it's something that he tries to especially remark here, and it's make us like as persons, like this dignity that you have as person is making you who you are right now. And I feel like the people on the campus was trying to especially remark that, and he was trying to keep their dignity, like because there was trying to go in through this situation. And I think like Levi is trying to put especially this part of the humanization, and like how the people, for the people is really important the dignity and the property on themselves during the book. Another one that is really important for me is like one of the last one. This is on the last chapter actually, where it's the last one. And it's this quote that it says 24 January, Liberty. The bridge in the barbed wire gave us concrete images of it. To anyone who stopped to think, it signified no more Germans, no more selection, no work, no blows, no roll calls, and perhaps later the return. But we had to make an effort to convince ourselves of it, and no one had time to enjoy the thought. All around lie destruction and death. For me, I feel like that this quote is really important, especially because it's the ender of the book. It's one of the last parts of the book, and I feel like that makes you understand a little bit how it was like this confrontation that they went through after the camp, and how important it was for him even like to write in this book, and how important it was for him like trying to keep these people to understand what he lives on the Holocaust, and how hard it was even for him like trying to write something to communicate to the people like what it was his experience during it. And like this part that it says that to anyone who stopped to think it signifying Germans, no more Germans, especially like how they even like how they even get like this traumatizing like stuff about like a whole nationality, which it was the Germans, and like how even can live with it. And it says like no more selection, no work, no blows, no roll calls, and later they return. And then he emphasized that is to combine themselves, that and not had time to enjoy. And like all around is lay and destruction, and then like it's showing like even like the people that they don't have anything to celebrate. It's even like makes them wonder like why they live to that, like why they live there, and why they even survive to there, like the survivors or the Auschwitz. Like I think they have this question after like looking this, and I feel like what that's one of the main questions like what he tried to make us think about. And it's like if they feel happy about not dying on the camp. And like he said, he remind us that the people that they live on the Auschwitz and like on the Holocaust, and they still being alive after that, that they was not feeling better than anything, and it was not like something that celebrates further than that. It was something that it was like keeping on their minds, and something that there was needing to even communicate like for not happening again on future generations. And I feel it's like that empathetic and that human part that he's trying to understand during the whole book, like how these people live this experience, and how it was the different reactions that the people had to these traumatizing experiences, like psychologically, philosophically, and like even like for their future lives, and how they realize and how they confront all that situation. And like on this way to like make the reader like understanding and embracing on this book, like to putting on the shoes of the people that they live there, and like trying to not just understand what they live, pardon, that trying to understand what it was going for their mind, and like what there was going through mentally. And I feel that's something that is really important on this book, that is makes you understand like the mental part of it, the human part of it, and like the feelings of the people, that is makes you like feel empathetic with them, and like feeling that even though that you didn't live with them like this experience, that you could feel like what they think, that what they go through, and like how they confront this like mentally and physically and emotionally, and like on different ways, and how they even try to communicate, that Primo's Levis tried to communicate all of this by his book. um but yeah. And then like in conclusion, like I just want to say that survival as switch was something to my understanding, profoundly shaped my understanding to the Holocaust. And this resilience of the human experience, Levi's ability to like even and articulate in these different horrors that um happens on the Holocaust, like with the clarity that he made it, the precision that he left on the deep senses, and like respect and gratitude even to the different characters, and like the different situations that happen on the camp. That his history has taught me the importance of hope, of compassion, of dignity, and like even the power of the bearing witness. That moving forward, I think I'm going to be even more committed to listening and more and being more attentive to the different histories on those who suffering this kind of experience, not just from the Holocaust, further than that, even like any traumatic experience that they come through, and like they can feel it, hear it at their voices. And like I think like Levi's book, it was like a testimony, a powerful testimony of reminder of the fragility of the humanity, and the strength of required to preserve it. and I'm really grateful that for the opportunity to can learn this history and can read this book and like being embraced on this book and and understanding better what the people on the Holocaust goes through. Thank you so much for watching.